Hey there, my fellow YouTubians. So tomorrow, Wednesday, is the day that I will be starting my daily video blogging. I will be making one video, at least one video, every single day for the next 18 because I am on vacation. I'm on vacation for 18 days straight, which is going to be amazing. I'm so excited about this. This is going to be a fun one too. I'm planning on getting some stuff done, but in addition to, you know, just the usual things, yeah, I wanted to do a daily video blog, so I thought that would be interesting. Maybe not. I don't know. I'll be talking about things that I've done, that I'm planning on doing, that kind of thing. And I also, of course, will be talking about movie-related stuff that I'm liking or planning to see, what have you. There'll be a couple of director series videos, I think, with me and V-Rose. So. But on top of that, I also thought that since I'm off for a nice long period of time, that I would continue on with something that I did a couple of weeks ago. I did a video in which I took a look at 1990 and some of the movies that came out that year, including my favorites. And so I thought, since I'm off for 18 days, that's perfect. You know, I'll have time to touch on each year since then, starting with 1991 and moving right on through 2009. So 1991 it is then. So what happened that year? Well, I turned 18 and graduated high school. In a related story, Arnold Schwarzenegger became the biggest, hugest box office star in the universe, and that was sort of the peak of his career because Terminator 2 got released that summer, and it was the biggest hit, you know, that he'd ever had, and the movie was very well received. And I enjoyed it. I went to see it like 7 times that summer, and the effects were, of course, groundbreaking. The liquid metal guy was amazing, and yeah, so that was fun. The Oscar-winning movie, the big Oscar-winning movie that year was Silence of the Lambs. Excuse me, Silence of the Lambs. It won Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Adapted Screenplay, and Best Anecdote about a census taker's liver being eaten with a side of beans and a good bottle of wine. I didn't really like the movie that much when I first saw it, but over the following years I watched it a few more times and grew to admire it. It's a very decent movie. My favorite movies, however, of that year were Slacker, which is directed by Richard Linklater. That was his breakthrough movie. It was a very low-budget film that he shot for just a few $1,000s in his hometown of Austin, Texas. Basically, it's a chain of characters drama, or comedic drama. You basically touch on a character and a few, or an assortment of characters, and then you move on to another group of people, never coming back to the same group ever. This is unusual for a movie to not have a single main character or an ensemble that you see throughout the movie, but just a whole sort of chain of small groups of characters. This was the movie that Kevin Smith saw and decided that he wanted to be a filmmaker as well. He says, if that counts as a movie, then I can do that too. So I'll leave you to decide whether that was a good thing or not. I also really enjoyed a movie called The Rapture, which was directed by Mike Tolkin, and Mimi Rogers was the star of it. She plays a information operator, a 411 operator, who joins a group of people that are having visions of the rapture, of Judgment Day, the upcoming 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and so on. This is a pretty dramatic and at times actually pretty scary movie. I like it a great deal. David Duchovny is also in it, and Will Patton. And if I'm not mistaken, the guy who plays the chief on Grey's Anatomy is in it too, but I could be mistaking him for somebody else. Then there's L.A. Story. L.A. Story is a Steve Martin comedy that he co-starred with Sarah Jessica Parker and Victoria Tennant and Richard E. Grant and a few other guys. And this is basically like his version of Manhattan, the Woody Allen film Manhattan. It's sort of Steve Martin's love letter to Los Angeles and all of its little quirks and silliness and what have you. It's a really fun movie. He plays a weatherman who gets involved with a couple different women, and he just has, you know, a lot of wacky stuff happen in general. It's fun. I like it a great deal. Mick Jackson is the director on that one. He went on to do The Bodyguard with Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston. My number 2 favorite movie of 1991 is called Homicide, which is a drama set in Chicago police district Joe Mantegna is the main character, and it's directed by David Mamet. David Mamet is a famous Chicago playwright who then started directing and writing films. He recently did movies called Red Belt and Spartan, and he also directed a movie called The Spanish Prisoner, which has Steve Martin in it. The leading character, Joe Mantegna, is one of the Mamet stock players. There are a few actors that consistently appear in David Mamet films and plays who are especially good with his particular style of dialogue. Both he and William H. Macy, who are also in Homicide, are Mamet stock players. And the story is about a Jewish cop who gets thrown a case in which a Jewish woman with possible ties to a long since disbanded underground movement to assassinate fascists back in Europe has been killed in her little shop, and he has to see if he can't uncover a connection with a local neo-fascist group that is spreading anti-Semitic propaganda in the neighborhood. And in doing so, he has to sort of confront his own self-hatred and, you know, the self-anti-Semitism, I guess. It's a very kind of dark story. Mantegna, he's a terrific actor. He's a great actor. So is William H. Macy. They're both fantastic in this movie. And it's kind of devastating, actually. The ending is really kind of weird. I'm not sure I understand it 100%, but I think I do. But it's very, very good. And finally, my favorite movie of 1991, and one of my picks for the 10 best movies of the 90s, is The Man in the Moon, which is a coming-of-age drama that was directed by Robert Mulligan, who did the Gregory Peck classic To Kill a Mockingbird many decades earlier. This, of course, was a movie that got only a small release, but of course it's notable as it was the film debut of Reese Witherspoon, who is now one of the biggest stars in the world. She plays the younger of two sisters, growing up in a farm in the 50s, and they both sort of fall for the same boy who moves in next door. And it's a coming-of-age story. It's very sweet and a little bit tragic, and I just loved the hell out of it. I saw it twice in the theater, despite the fact that it was only playing in a couple of very hard-to-get-to locations. If you like that type of film, I couldn't recommend it more highly. So, that's it for today. Tomorrow my daily vlog officially begins, and I'll be talking a little bit more about, you know, various things. I hope you'll stay tuned for that. I hope you'll watch and what have you. I'm on my way to Borders because I got a 40% off coupon via email, and I'm thinking of maybe getting a DVD. Talk to you later. See you tomorrow.